everyone. Welcome to day 10. We are almost there. We almost made it all the way through. Today's dragon is so good, so delicious. It's the golden Atlantean dragon. And while the lilac fire dragon 2 days ago, who got all hot and fiery, was calling us out saying, stop playing small, stop being too little, or, like stop doing the safe thing. Essentially, the lilac fire was all about, you keep trying to do these safe things. You're trying to play safe. You're not giving the fullness of your worth to what is actually desiring to be created right now. That's what that lilac fire dragon was doing 2 days ago. She was really coming in there to like burn that lower density that was trying to make you believe that you can't go for it and you can't make that big jump. And then yesterday, oh, hello. Hi, Oyasumi. Hi, Danielle. And then yesterday's magenta dragon was hooking us into that higher vibration now that the lilac fire dragon had completely dissolved and alchemized all those lower vibrations. And as before, even if you've never caught one of these, if you're here right now, it's because energetically, either in the astral plane or in other ways, you've actually been along on this journey the whole time. So even if you've never watched any of these and it's day 10 of 11 and you're like, oh my goodness, I need to go back and watch, you don't. You're here right now for the reason that you need to be. So the golden Atlantean dragon, again, while the lilac fire dragon was saying, hey, you're playing too small, the golden Atlantean dragon is really helping you remember your wisdom of Atlantis and helping you remember your knowledge and your gifts and talents, and to really reclaim your mastery and to really know that you really can have so much. But what is like, I have it right here, I might just look it up. Right here in, the Holy Bible of trying to grow everything, Think and Grow Rich, it says right here, chapter whatever, I'm going to read it right now. I'm not going to read the whole chapter, I'm just going to read. Chapter 10, Power of the Mastermind. Okay, and what that chapter is all about is calling upon other people. Power is essential for success in the accumulation of money. Plans are inert and useless without sufficient power to translate them into action. This chapter will describe the method by which an individual may attain and apply power. Power may be defined as organized and intelligently directed knowledge. So when I tell you that I know how to teach my clients how to take the energy, the emotions, the energy in motion that's being thrown at them all the time, whether it's by their toddler freaking out or by their 13-year-old son not showing up when they're supposed to. Hey, Chrissy, over here on Instagram. If you guys notice my eyes shift, it's just because Instagram and Facebook are not like right underneath each other. I got all this this incense I chose today is this dream incense, just because I feel like most people, they like to keep their dreams in the dream world, and I really am all about helping people actualize their dreams immediately. So again, that power, focused intelligence and directing it. And in the chapter, I obviously didn't read the whole chapter, but in this chapter, when it talks about the mastermind, it's talking about like essentially what the entire life coaching business is, right? What the entire mentoring business is. My friend posted yesterday, it was really great. It was about the difference between a coach and a mentor. And a coach is someone who can regurgitate knowledge back to you, and a mentor is someone who can embody that knowledge and walk you through the doorway as well. Because that whole idea of those who can't do teach, and that coach like on the sidelines is trying to like push their team a little bit too far. Like that's why I don't associate myself with the word coach ever, because I always just think about those football coaches that injured themselves and like pushed their team way too hard And that's not the relationship that I want to have with my clients. The relationship I want you to have is fully surrendering and trusting and releasing into me so that I can help you to change that energy and give it back to you and reflect it back to you so that you can use it and direct it exactly where you need to go. So we take, I teach you the art of the controlled temper tantrum, which is not like, you don't use this all the time, but every once in a while you're like, why isn't this here yet? Like, why isn't this here? So this is, again, like helping you remember the golden wisdom. In Atlantean times, they had the ability to just think and something manifested in their hand. And we don't have that anymore. And, there's all sorts of reasons why Atlantis collapsed. The biggest one really being that they didn't appreciate the 3D. They didn't really appreciate the physical realm, and they manipulated it. And they just used the power for ways that were going to cause massive destruction. And the Intergalactic Council came in and was like, no, we have an agreement that Earth is going to ascend to the 7th dimension, and you Atlanteans are in here trying to mess it up, and we're just going to restart. Okay, and that's when we created the veil of amnesia, the veil of forgetfulness, that was fully lifted in 2012. But any of us that were born before 2012, we passed through it. And our children, it's the big reason why so many moms are having a hard time with their kids, why autism is such a huge increase right now, or being on spectrum. If it's a spectrum, we're all on it. But that happening is because these children didn't ever pass through the veil. So they know that they're gods already, and yet we're telling them that they're not, because we haven't gotten to that same level of knowing. So it really brings back your knowledge and your gifts and your talents so that you can reclaim your mastery. But back in the days of masters and apprentices, your apprentice would never ever claim that they were a master until their master had given them that. Really don't want me to watch this right now. I'll be back. Okay, no worries, Sabrina. Don't worry. It'll be here. The replay's here. What was I saying? So the master would eventually tell the apprentice that the apprentice was capable of taking on their own apprentices, right? But to that apprentice, their master was always the master. Even when the student surpasses the teacher, there's always that reverence and that respect that I feel in this day and age doesn't continue to exist. We have a coach, and maybe they didn't get us exactly what we wanted, and that's fine. But those coaches that really brought us to where we want, we often get this weird, like, we have to go back to them even if we know we've surpassed them. And it's not that either. It's not that you just only have one mentor all the time. It's knowing when it's time for you to move to a new mentor, still having utmost respect for the person who got you to where you are. You're not downplaying them at all by choosing to go work with someone else. I have a mentor who doesn't actually get a whole lot of return clients, and she's very aware of it and is totally okay with just being the activator that people move through onto other people. And that's completely, like, she knows that that's her zone of genius. She doesn't need people to continuously re-sign up and re-sign up and re-sign up with her. So the reason why I'm telling you all about this with the Golden Atlantean Dragon is really because he is kind of the counterpart to the Lilac Fire Dragon. Again, that Lilac Fire Dragon coming in 2 days ago and just burning away any residual things making you feel like you didn't deserve your dreams. And this one is reminding you, this Golden Atlantean Dragon, I haven't even shown you guys him yet. This Golden Atlantean Dragon is actually coming in to remind you that you've hooked in. Yesterday with the Magenta Dragon, we hooked into these higher frequencies. You can see he actually has this magenta gem in his third eye, where, like, we've hooked in to transmuting. You will never again not be transmuting. You will never again feel just totally at peace and at calm, because that's not where the energy of the world is going. We need people who are willing to not rest on their laurels, who aren't going to finish up a program and wait 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months before they get in with someone else. They know that whatever they're birthing needs to be birthed, and it needs to happen now, and it needs to happen hard, and it needs to happen fast, or life is just going to get in the way, and that's just what happens. So I'm going to read to you what he says here. Humans, animals, and land itself radiated with a golden aura, and everyone enjoyed soul satisfaction. Source energy powered the great crystal held in the Temple of Poseidon. This is talking about during the golden era of Atlantis. The great crystal held in the Temple of Poseidon, which was the power source for the civilization. The awesome spiritual technology of Atlantis was activated by crystals and mind control. When we are ready to bring back our innate Atlantean knowledge and wisdom, golden Atlantean dragons will come to us and reactivate the gifts and talents and information held in their DNA. So for those of you who have never received one of these transmissions before from me, even though this is day 10, I can see there's like a whole bunch of brand new people, which I freaking love. What happens is that I actually channel these dragons. From the second I pulled him, Karen stopped talking, and this has been the golden Atlantean dragon. Of course, I'm willing to take on any consequences or whatever you want to call it for what I say, but I know that I have done the work, that I am completely a clear channel. And we will get to this part where I will do a vocal toning, and the vocal toning is to activate. He is an activating dragon. So unlike some of these dragons we've worked with that are very about cleansing and about healing and aligning and things like this, no, he is an activator. He activates the crystalline DNA. He activates the dragon DNA, which we all have. Every single person on this planet went through a 7th dimensional dragon training before they could even incarnate on Earth, because we're supposed to be the parents to those who have not passed through the veil. That's a very intense calling, to be willing to be a parent to some of these children that, you know, I take my hats off all the time to these moms that I'm seeing on the buses and who are in the restaurants that are dealing with these children who you can tell are just like trapped in these physical bodies and don't really know what to do with them. And it takes a lot to be able to know that you have that power inside of you, not only to care for kids, not only to care for yourself, not only to sustain what you need, but then to go above and beyond, to be the the mega billionaire Buddha that every single one of you is, which seems like such a dichotomy, but that's what the energy of the planet is right now. We've been sitting on our asses for the last 2,000 years, not really progressing very far. And in the last 100, technologically, we've gotten super far, even since 1990s. You guys hear me joke, and, you know, not even really joke, but it's true. The light grid is like 1990s dial-up. And the synchronistic lattice where I live, where my clients live, that's like fiber optics. So if you're still trying to teach your clients and still trying to move through the love and light and peace and unity and all of that of the old 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s mindset, your transformation is going to be like when you would first dial up into AOL, right? And you're trying to dial up. You're trying to slowly turn that dial. And I'm offering you all with this activation that I'm about to do, but when I bring you into a container, which working with me is not something that I'm just like, here, everyone come and work with me. I leave my application up and only 1 or 2 people are ever brave enough to click it. I invite people into my space and I am that big and intimidating that they're like, I don't know, I think I'm actually good. And that fear is just like a mom in birth, in transition. There is a point, there's a reason why I call myself the dragon doula. I am a trained doula. I know all of the signs of birth. I have birthed naturally twice, 1 time unassisted. My daughter was born before my midwife even arrived. And there is this moment that every woman who births a baby naturally gets to. It's called transition. And it's the moment where the whole rest of the time active labor has been going on, and mom's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get my baby and I'm gonna be able to push her out and I'm gonna be able to do this. And like, it's hard, and like the contractions are like right on top of each other, but the mom still like has enough mental clarity to be like, okay, yeah, I can do this. I believe in myself, I can do this. And then transition hits. And transition is the last 2 centimeters when the baby's dropping down right before the crowning happens. And that is the time that inevitably, every single solitary mother, including myself, that I have ever witnessed in birth says, I can't fucking do this. No, I can't do it. And they start to freak out. It's actually the place that most emergency C-sections happen, is during that transition. I'm talking about like really emergency C-sections, not just this whole we're trying to push you down the conveyor belt of birthing, which is a whole nother subject, but like an actual emergency C-section will happen because the mom physically can stop her labor. Okay, women can actually stop their labor because they're scared. And it was a defense mechanism that, like, lions and tigers, you ever notice that your dog and your cat, they always go somewhere like super quiet, like in the laundry room or like in the garage to give birth to their puppies and their kittens? It's the same thing with humans. So if we feel under distress, under duress, we can actually stop our labor. Okay, but if anybody, has watched some of those crazy YouTube videos where the dad's driving but also recording and the mom bursts in the car, if a woman's mind is able to turn off long enough, do you ever hear those women? They're like, oh my God, they're coming. Oh my God, I can't. And they're trying to stop, but the body has actually taken over enough that the baby gets born. Well, there's a really big difference between a physical baby being born and that happening and the mom freaking out and screaming, oh my God, I can't do this. And a lot of women, they scream that they can't do this. Real emergency C-sections only account for 0.05% of births, like actual, like full-on anesthesia emergency C-sections. A lot of those happen in that transition period where the body just like stops pushing and really scary shit starts to happen. But most of the time, myself included, the woman is screaming, I can't fucking do this, and the baby's head is coming out because there is an actual physical entity coming out of you. Hold on, Instagram. I gotta consider moving. I'm trying to see. No, don't do it to me. Okay, Instagram's here. I might have to move Facebook land. Hold on. Hold, please. Guys, I really can't handle my internet anymore. It pisses me off so bad. We're gonna move. We're gonna move. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. We're moving. Ah! Sorry, Instagram. We're moving. We're moving. Does Wi-Fi even matter if the doors are open? I mean, really? Thanks for bearing with me, Christy. I can't stand that Facebook does this to me, by the way. Like, this isn't fair to you. Anyway, we'll just keep going and hopefully they'll catch on in a second. I'm like literally as close to the Wi-Fi as I can be right now. I can't get any closer. So we'll just keep looking at this pretty dragon. Let me know if you have any questions. Come on. It's so dumb because it says that it's trying to reconnect, but it's also not like ended the video completely. So obviously we've got some connection. By the way, this happens to me all the time. The internet does not like the truth that I speak. All right, so I'm just going to start a new video on Facebook. So hold on a second, Instagram. Wait, you can still see me. Can you hear me too? They might still be able to see me and hear me this whole time. Hold on. This is so funny. Like, loud and clear. Okay, you can, it literally says due to poor wireless connection, your video isn't working. But if you can hear me, then let's keep going. Oh my God, my internet. Okay, sorry everyone. I really truly believed that you guys couldn't see me. It's sitting here with like this spiral. Okay, so let's see. Now that I'm back to not thinking about what the fuck I was just talking about. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So physically birthing a baby. Yeah, Summer. I've tried YouTube Live. It's not, people just don't get onto YouTube. Like they won't even log on to them. I have YouTube Live and I've done lives on them and no one will show up to them even if I plan them like 2 weeks in advance and no one's there on the same time because it doesn't just like pop into their feed versus like Facebook. It's just you happen to be on Facebook and you see that I'm live at the same time. But yeah, I also know that my video quality is shit. I'm working on it. Are people being better about it? Because I used to try to do YouTube Live like months ago and no one would ever get onto a live on YouTube. So if you guys are more willing to get on that, then maybe I'll do that because Facebook seriously does not like me. I'm surprised Instagram's still there because they're owned by the same people. Okay, well this is like awkward. I follow several channelers on YouTube. Well, that's good to know, Summer. Maybe we'll just do that from now on because this is ridiculous. Especially because I'm like not even in my normal seat. My jive is totally off. Hold on. You gotta get back. Okay. I can't do this from here. So give me one more second. I'm gonna move back. It's just like something about where you normally channel, right? You gotta just be in the right spot. Ah! Excuse me. Christy, you just totally saw me flash the world. My bad. People want me to go on YouTube. I don't feel like it. Yeah. I would totally rather be on YouTube because Facebook, it literally says still trying to reconnect. Like, this is ridiculous. But whatever. Okay. See, now I remember what I was talking about. So unlike a physical baby, that will eventually come out of your vagina or your uterus one way or another, these energetic babies that we get so excited about, these books, these the record you're writing, the record you're making, thanks Cindy, Christy, not Cindy, Jesus Christ. My goodness, I cannot even think straight right now. Just like, hold on, let me just huff this. Okay. So, okay, it's still okay. You can still hear me? Okay, good. This is so dumb. So I am getting a new laptop. That's the moral of the story, is that my laptop is like 8 or 9 years old and I'm getting a new one. So hopefully that helps with the video quality there and all the other tech issues. And if not, then we'll just move to YouTube. But I have so many people who come into my sphere that are like, I'm going to do this. I already know that I'm birthing this. I already know that I'm amazing. I've known my whole life that I was worth doing great things. I know this. I know that. I know this. I know that. And I don't believe any of them for the simple fact that they are really good at doing this. And energetically, while they're doing this, it's just flatlined. So mentally, they're super excited. Mentally, they're like, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that, and they've made all these lists, and yeah, I know this, and I worked with this mentor, and I know this, and I know that. And what have I been saying again all week? Stop understanding and start embodying. If what you do is you go up to your clients and you say you really need to invest in this, that, and the other, but when it's your turn to invest, you beat around the bush, or you start with the low end offer, or you get into the freebie and then the small thing, and then maybe you do the growth program and you really want to grow that know, like, and trust someone. That's light grid 1990s dial-up shit, guys. That whole formula of know, like, and trust someone before you invest huge amounts with them is the reason why it's going to take you 10 years to reach millionaire status while everyone else is going to do, who actually takes the huge leap. The one, remember how the violet dragon came in and cleared off the density so that you could hook into the magenta dragon and jump and fly, still knowing that you're tethered into something, even if you can't see it? That's what this golden Atlantean dragon is really doing. He is really coming in and activating that part of you that can do the scariest thing that right now you're just like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm okay, I'm sending her this holy shit. Because those people that do that turn around and make their investment back in 24 hours. Turn around and close a $10,000 book sale in 48 hours. Turn around and get a $15,000 client after 4 months of not having anything. Those are the people who don't need to be coddled anymore. They don't need to connect with you and know you and like you and trust you. They just need someone to hold their hand so they can push the baby out. You know, that's like, I do offer a few, 6-month and 12-month programs, but honestly, most of those programs I end up changing because I change so much myself in every 3 to 4 month cycles. And my clients will, I wouldn't say outgrow me, but we get back to that master thing. And when you're going through a process with someone who has mastered energy as well as I have, who is really an alchemic master, then having these 6 to 12 month programs really is for someone who's like, like I've explained to you guys before with me, I legally can't become president until 2028 because of when my birthday is. So I would take someone like me on a 1-year journey to make sure I was really, really ready to run for president when it was coming up, right? So like in 2026, I would sign me for a 1-year thing so that by 2027, when does this make sense to you guys what I'm saying with the bigger containers? I don't need a big container. Just like you don't need your doula for many weeks after you've given birth. She comes and checks in on you and a few things here and there, but for the most part, you need her just during the birth. That's why I do what I do in 6 to 12 weeks and not in these, big, huge containers. 12 weeks, you can write your book and have it published. In 12 weeks, you can go from barely making 5 figures to having a 7-figure business. In 12 weeks, you can go from not even having barely singing in your bathroom to having an agent and being able to be booking with a producer. 12 weeks is a lot of time. 90 days, it takes 21 days to form a habit, takes 30 days to break one, and it takes 90 days to form a lifestyle. I am a lifestyle mentor. I mentor people. I am the master of this lifestyle, which is directing energy, powerful, powerful knowledge in the direction that you want to go. That's what I do. That's why I take your dreams and we blow them up and we get whatever you're thinking about right now. We get that as quickly as possible so that we can start focusing. And by the time you're out of a container with me, you feel set and ready to do what your millionaire version of you really wants to do because you already reached millionaire status. You're ready to do what Grammy Award winner version of you wants because you've already, you're on your way to getting your first platinum album. And these are all things that clients of mine are continuing to do because they know that, yeah, they could do all of this on their own. And yeah, it would still be really awesome, but there's no one there to push them. There's no one there slowly, like lighting a fire on the rope that's holding them in. So many people will clear these low densities and hook in, and then they'll still just stand on the rock face of the cliff knowing, okay, I'm totally clean, I'm clear of my density, I know that I can do this, I can rock it, I'm hooked into my vibration, I can see exactly what I want, and all I have to do is give birth. All I gotta do is fly. All I gotta do is go jump off this cliff. I can do it, I can do it. And you will stand there on that cliff hooked into these high frequencies for another 4 years. And you will be standing there on the cliff wondering why everyone else is flying around as dragons around you, because you didn't ever jump. You didn't ever actually know, what am I always talking about? Knowing your worth. You didn't actually know what you knew, even though you didn't know how you knew it. You didn't actually know the gifts and talents that you had inside of you. You didn't actually know the master blueprint for your life. If I sat here and explained to you guys what I've seen my life actually turns into, you'd be like, how do you know that? And I wouldn't be able to tell you how, but I can tell you that at any second I can close my eyes and transport myself to a certain year and start living on that plane. And then I come back here and I continue doing it. You know, I've seen exactly what my life is like at 66. And it's freaking awesome. I know exactly where my kids are going to school and all of these other things, not because I'm commanding it to happen, but because I am that synced into my timeline. I know my blueprint that well that I'm just like, when I see numbers and all these other things that everyone gets so excited, oh, it's spirit talking to me. I see it more as like my future self has left me breadcrumbs. I look at the clock and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm all like, ooh, this is exactly where I need to be. Okay, let's move on. And that's it. I don't read into it more. I don't go look up what does the number 1 and the number 2 and like, I just notice the time and, oh, today, all day today is 11:22. So all day today is a very auspicious portal. It's 11 days after the 11/11 portal opened. And so many people have said, yes, I want to do this. Yes, I want to do this. Yeah, that sounds great. Or I know that I'm birthing this and I know I'm going to birth this regardless. And I know I'm going to do this. And I know I'm going to do that. And they're just doing this as far as I'm concerned. Their energy has, again, flatlined because the holidays are coming up, because they've just finished a program, or they don't know if they really want to invest in something like that, or they just, you know, they have a little side project that's going to take up their time right now because they're so excited about it. But that little side project is actually just a creative side project and not the baby that needs to be born. So they think that they're birthing this baby by focusing over here, when really the baby that needs to be born, they're like, that's too fucking hard. That's too scary. I can't do that. I'm just going to sit here on my pretty mountain. You know, I'll just paint a picture up here. I'm hooked in. I could jump. I could fly. I could all do all this stuff. I've been activated. I know all of this stuff inside of me, but instead of doing all those things that I can dream about, I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to paint. I'm going to paint the pretty picture that I see in front of me. And you're going to think that you're being productive, and you're going to think that you're doing all this great stuff, and you're going to just feel so magical and bubbly and awesome and bright all the time. And your life's going to go like this. It's either going to flatline or it's going to be a super slow transition. And every once in a while, you're going to get like a spike of energy that's going to very quickly flatline again, because you haven't actually gotten the propulsion to stay in flight. You're continuing just doing quantum leaps. So yeah, you think that, like, compared to, you know, 80% of the rest of the world, you're actually still going really, really fast. So you feel really good about it. But you are going by leaping. You're doing quantum leaps when I'm offering you quantum flight. I'm offering you the ability to go from hardly anything in your bank account to millionaire, because I know it's inside of you. I can feel it in your energy sphere. And I'm not, you know, maliciously in there. The only reason why I can read your energy is because you've turned on the beacon that calls me in. You're sitting here thinking that you're attracting all these new clients, but what you're really doing is attracting the person that's going to get you that 50K client. You're attracting the person that's going to get you that $25,000 deal for, you know, the rights to the book that you're still writing, but they already want the movie. All of this stuff. Yeah. Oyasumi, she's done with slow. She knows. Okay, so let's get into the activation for those of you still here before my internet does totally cut out and die. Want to make sure that there's nothing else that he wants me here to read. Prepare to reclaim your mastery. You are ready to dissolve this is it. You are ready to dissolve the final veils of amnesia, and your dragon will assist you to do so. Ask the golden Atlantean dragons to breathe its golden fire into your third eye so that the final clearance and awakening can take place. Your dragon will then remain with you and shine light into you as you prepare to stand in your own power as an Atlantean master. So these dragons are, because tomorrow's the last day and I don't know who's going to show up tomorrow, but this dragon today, this golden Atlantean dragon, is like, okay, you've had the lilac fire dragon, you've had the deep blue dragons, you've had the dark galactic dragons, you've got the dusty pink dragons from it. You've had some of the most, we weren't hanging out with fourth dimensional dragons during this, guys. We had one, I think, the whole time, and it was the water dragon, and she was again helping cleanse and clear the vibrations. When are you guys going to be okay with that living high vibe as your